Hey, what's up, guys? It's Paul, and today I'm going to talk about how I stopped killing animals and went vegan. So many people in the world think that adopting a vegan lifestyle or a plant-based lifestyle and diet is one of the most daunting things that they could ever do or even imagine trying. And the reality is that it is daunting and scary and challenging for so many people, like myself. For pretty much my entire life, I consumed meat. I grew up on McDonald's Happy Meals, chicken nuggets, KFC. My favorite food in the world was chicken parm. It was even on my website until like a couple of weeks ago. I hadn't changed it. It was in my bio. It said chicken parm connoisseur. I kid you not. And one of the main reasons why people just like myself find this consumption of eating meat and dairy and animal products so hard to shake is that it is addicting. Literally, meat contains a stimulant called hypoxanthine that has properties similar to caffeine. Now, that's only one of the reasons why shaking meat and consuming these products is so hard. And honestly, when I was growing up, I used to poke fun at people who were vegan or vegetarian because I thought it was ridiculous. What was the problem with killing animals or consuming meat? It was good for you. It's healthy for you. It's how you get your protein. And that argument is something that's been going on for so long and has been disproven. And I haven't eaten meat protein in 3 years, and I'm in one of the best shapes of my life I've ever been in. So what I wanted to do in this video is talk about my process and what I did and how I stopped eating meat from someone who was literally addicted to it, ate it every day. KFC, McDonald's, Chick-fil-A, everything. I literally ate meat so much. I thought I couldn't live without cheese. I literally didn't think it was possible. So I want to start off by talking about how it was a process for me. I didn't quit eating meat overnight. It literally took steps for me to do. Now, how I even got onto the idea of wanting to quit meat was obviously from a moral choice and from a dietary choice as well. I no longer wanted to contribute to killing animals that didn't need to be killed. Animals have no desire to be killed. They want to live their lives. They think and feel just like we as humans do. They are sentient beings. Now, I know a lot of people say that, but it is true. That's why that statement gets reiterated so much, is because they don't want to die and they want to live. They have a desire to live. So after researching all what goes into the meat industry and how chicken and beef and eggs are made and what these factories do and the things that they put inside of these animals, and how if you look at something like the chicken, how it never actually in the wild, the chicken was genetically modified through the process of breeding to be what the chicken is today, the chicken that we consume. So once I came to the conscious decision that I was going to try no longer eating meat and become a vegetarian. Now, in my life, as weird as it sounds, I never had really enjoyed fish or eaten fish. So that was already kind of, all right, easy thing for me to do. I didn't even have to worry about being a pescatarian or anything like that because I didn't eat or desire fish. And I honestly didn't even consume that much pork or beef to begin with. My diet mainly consisted of chicken, turkey, and I guess beef would have been the third one of that. I did consume a lot of roast beef, and I had steak from time to time and burgers. So I decided the first thing I was going to do was I was going to cut out all fish, which I already didn't eat, pork, and then the first thing I would do was beef. So I was only going to consume essentially turkey and chicken and eggs. I would still eat eggs. So that process was relatively simple and easy and seamless for me. I just stopped eating steaks or ordering burgers. I would just have chicken. And that seemed extremely doable to me. And I was like, okay, great. I won't have as high a risk as heart disease because beef is one of the highest contributors to that. And then the next step for me was I was going to eliminate turkey. Now that was about 2 weeks after. So I cut out eating beef and turkey and pork and fish. So now it's just chicken and eggs. So this is where things got interesting. It took me about a month to eliminate chicken from my diet, and then the last thing I was actually eating was eggs. I would have no meat, I would eat eggs, and I was what was considered a vegan, which is hated by a lot of people, but accepted by others. Now, I just want to throw a comment in here. If you're making a conscious choice to no longer support an industry that's doing terrible things to animals, and if you're consuming things from local farmers and you're not supporting these bigger industries, you're still doing a great thing for the environment and for yourself and for the ethics and the life of animals. The biggest thing that I don't like, and the reason why I find most people do not consider going to a vegan diet, is because they feel this immense pressure that they're not doing it right, and if they do something wrong or if they screw up, they're going to be condemned. That is something that I advocate that people no longer try to do. If you're making a choice in your life to help the environment and help yourself and help animals, then you should be praised. We've been thrown into a society with literally, you're taught from when you're a kid that this is a normal thing to do. Imagine someone told you tomorrow that you should no longer brush your teeth. Wouldn't you find that a little weird? So back to the story now. The last thing for me was cheese. That I thought was going to be so impossible, but I actually realized I had a strong willpower that if I was able to give up all this meat, that I could just give up cheese. I knew that there was products like Daya and cashew-based cheeses that tasted just like cheese, and that you could use things like nutritional yeast to have that kind of creamy, replicated taste. And then came the other step, which was eliminating all the products that I consumed, like I mentioned, like gelatin, and no longer buying leather, and making sure that I'm buying products that are cruelty-free. And that was a little bit of a process too, and that took me about 6 months to really figure out the things that I actually were using or consuming or eating. Some of those things might have contributed to animal cruelty or testing on animals, which I no longer wanted to participate in. So now that I've explained that the process of which I was doing, what were the things that I was eating to help transition me into this vegan diet? So many people don't realize there's tons of food on the market right now that look and taste and have similar textures and smells to meat. Some of my favorite things to eat, which were like eggplant and seitan and falafel and kidney beans and black beans and sofritas, a ton of tofu-based products, tempeh or tempeh, some people have different pronunciations for it. And I was consuming a lot more of these products to give me a similar experience and physical sensation to eating meat. So that's was the first thing I adopted, changing those chicken wraps into falafel wraps or eggplant wraps or veggie wraps or veggie burgers. And what's amazing is that there's so many companies and products like Gardein and Morningstar and Beyond Meat that offer products that are meat alternatives that taste and feel just like meat. You need to go try a Beyond Burger right now, the newest recipe that they have. It tastes delicious. It's at restaurants right now. You can go buy it at Fridays. And then there's also a bunch of other foods that are so healthy for you but are hearty and they make you feel content, like avocados or lentils or pastas, and obviously every vegetable you can imagine, like spinach and broccoli and sweet peppers and potatoes and sweet potatoes, and every fruit you can imagine, bananas, papaya, watermelon, melon, strawberries, blueberries, blackberries. There were so many options that I just never realized because my diet was so small, because I found the things that I liked and were convenient and I stuck to them. And now that I'm vegan and have a plant-based lifestyle, I eat such a better diet naturally because the things that are for you in a vegan diet are naturally better for you, like vegetables. So once I realized that all these products were available, I started researching restaurants prior to going to them, calling them up and saying, hey, do you guys have any vegan options? Do you guys offer things without cheese? Is your sauce made with cheese if you're calling a pizza place or an Italian restaurant? Do you guys, your marinara sauce, does that contain cheese in it? And what this did for me was when I was out with people that weren't in New York City and say I'm home with my family in Jersey, to not make the experience much more awkward when I was first starting out, because I was more insecure about having this inconvenient diet that people thought was weird. People in my family literally didn't understand why I was going vegan. My grandmother used to say to me all the time, but it's like, that's not good for you. What are you doing? Like, it just sounds stupid. And I'm not mad at my family for thinking that, because it's a shock to realize that what goes into the consumption and the production of these products and how bad they can be for you. And some other things you can do at a restaurant if you're fearing that they might not have vegan options is check out the sides menu. Tons of places will have things like steamed broccoli and spinach, and most places will have French fries that are not made with meat products. They'll fry them in oil. Now, fortunately, I live in New York City and there's vegan restaurants and places to go, and there's even vegan fast food, places like Blossom that offer so many vegan alternatives to my favorite foods like mac and cheese and the unbuffalo chicken sandwich, or the unchicken parm, a lot of places call them, which is made with seitan. So I started researching the restaurants that New York City had, but also places like Denny's and TGI Fridays and Domino's and Johnny Rockets, places that have vegan options. Burger King, yes, I said Burger King, even has vegan French toast sticks. And obviously there's places like Chipotle where you can get no meat, or you can get things like sofritas or tofu. So while many people think it's impossible to go normal places and eat vegan food, it actually isn't. You should just do a little bit of research to see what's offered and be the person suggesting those places. And one of my favorite ways that helped promote this vegan lifestyle or plant-based diet was visiting websites online to find vegan recipes, or even join Facebook groups of people who are transitioning to vegan. There's vegan challenges like the 22-day challenge or 30-day challenge, and you can do them with friends, which makes it a lot easier. And participating in things on social media, following pages, so you're constantly reinforced that other people do this diet and they seem to survive pretty well. They're actually thriving. You can follow vegan sweet pages, like for desserts and things that will make you, wow, say there's still savory food or sweet food that I can have, and it's vegan. It doesn't contain meat or dairy or eggs. Now, just to kind of backtrack to what I was saying in the beginning of this video and how I was killing animals, because when you go to a supermarket, you're asking for a supply and demand. And the only way meat products exist is by the killing and torture, in many cases, of these animals. Cows who are milked and forcibly raped to get impregnated so that they can produce milk. I was contributing into this chain, and so I also started following sources that would have these videos of animal mistreatment and sharing those messages. And a lot of people say they don't want to see that. And for me, I knew that I needed to see it because the more I reminded myself that it existed, the more it reinforced the hard choice for me to no longer eat these products was. So if that's something you're interested in doing, sharing and supporting these pages who expose the meat and dairy industry for what it is, and it'll constantly be a reminder that you're doing a great thing for society, for yourself, for your diet, and for the environment. Now that we see with recent studies, there's more emissions, more things affecting global warming in our environment, the carbon footprint on this world, from the meat industry than there is from all of the automobile industries. And watching these documentaries like Cowspiracy or What the Health or Earthlings, there's so much information available about veganism, about the animal industry that can support your choice for why you're having this lifestyle and why you shouldn't consider going back to a meat lifestyle. Because for many people, they try veganism and then they say, I can't do this, I gotta go back. And I'm gonna say something pretty crazy right now. If you try veganism, if you try this plant-based lifestyle and you wind up going back, that's fine. The idea is to constantly reinforce the idea of a less consumption of meat and dairy animal products. And hopefully you'll come back and try it again. Because one of the things that I've found is the most helpful is being educated in research about the science and the facts that go into this lifestyle. Because so many people are going to challenge you and try to prove you wrong with the arguments like our ancestors used to eat like this, or you need protein, or you're not gonna get enough vitamin D or B12, or that if you have a vegan lifestyle, you're actually killing more animals because for agriculture to make these farms, to grow vegetables, you're killing these animals. And there's just the arguments go on, and there's fine. There is room for debate. The vegan lifestyle is not perfect. It's not going to happen overnight. And if we can stop the torture and enslavement and killing of these animals who don't want to be killed in the way that it's done right now, then that's going to be a great progress to hopefully an outcome of a world that no longer needs meat products. Now, whether we wind up having animal products that are cloned before we have a product that tastes just like meat, like this Beyond Burger that is perfected, who knows? But the fact is that we are more conscious of this movement, we are conscious of this lifestyle, and we're conscious of the animals who want to live. So hopefully this video is a help to you guys for considering transitioning. If you have any questions about a plant-based lifestyle, feel free to ask them in the comments. Subscribe to me. I'm going to be making more videos about my lifestyle, hopefully in the future, and I'd love to answer any of your questions. You can also find me on social medias. It's at Paul Castro JR on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and I do pretty well at answering anyone who asks questions. So answer questions in the comments. What have you found to be the easiest thing for you that helped you transition from a meat and dairy animal-based diet to a vegan diet? I'd love to hear how your process was, and catch me next time for more videos. Later on, guys.